2026 is coming in hot, and the gaming world is about to explode. Massive worlds, insane graphics, long-awaited sequels, and the kind of hype you can feel in your bones. These are the biggest upcoming games of 2026, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. Grand Theft Auto 6 just took a sharp turn nobody expected. After months of hype, record-breaking trailers, and the triumphant return of neon-drenched Vice City, soaked in crime, grit, and that unmistakable rockstar attitude, the studio finally confirmed the news. The game is officially delayed to November 19, 2026 on PlayStation 5 and Xbox. For a long time, fans were betting on 2025, maybe early 2026 at the latest. But Rockstar made it clear they need more time to finish the game with the level of polish you expect. And honestly, with a project of this scale, an enormous open world, cutting-edge tech, and that signature Rockstar obsession with detail, the extra year likely means a cleaner, tighter, bigger final product. The wait stings, sure. But knowing how Rockstar operates, this delay probably means Vice City will come back louder, wilder, and more refined than anything the series has delivered before.
She tried to make my world the way she thought it was a long, long
Well, look.
to have each other to hold.
Ill burst onto the horror scene with the kind of raw, unsettling presence that sticks with you long after you've looked away. Revealed in full force during Summer Game Fest 2025, this first-person action horror drops you into a remote, claustrophobic research fortress where something unnatural has taken hold. Grotesque mutants stalk the corridors, unstable, unpredictable creatures that move with disturbing realism thanks to a detailed dismemberment system, weighty physics and audio design meant to crawl under your skin. Combat is brutal and unforgiving. Guns kick hard, weapons need maintenance, and you constantly juggle ammo, modifications, inventory management, and crafting just to survive one more encounter. Chrono Odyssey still sends chills through the genre, an MMORPG that aims bigger and more boldly than most titles dare. Set in the vast, dangerous realm of Cetera, you wield the Chronotector, an ancient artifact that lets you twist time, reshape combat flow, and manipulate entire timelines. The world responds to you, ecosystems shift, enemies adapt, and action combat lets you combine multiple weapon classes in dynamic battles. The idea is to create a fantasy world that feels alive, unpredictable, and constantly changing. Originally aiming for a Q4 2025 release across PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox, the developers have pushed the game into 2026, using the extra time to overhaul combat, refine visuals, boost performance, and integrate feedback from early testing. State of Decay. 3 is still deep in development, and at this point there's no official release date in sight. Storefronts continue to list it as to be announced. Yet behind the scenes, the picture is slowly forming. Current reports suggest a target window somewhere around 2026, with some insiders whispering it could even drift into 2027. What's clear is that Undead Labs, now backed by Xbox Game Studios, is building the most ambitious entry in the franchise. Launching on PC and Xbox, and with speculation about a potential PS5 version down the line, the game expands the series into a larger, more interconnected open world, one that feels like a truly shared space. Permadeath remains a core pillar, but community building, survivor management, and long-term progression are being pushed further than ever. The Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is still alive, but only just. After switching from Aspyr to Saber Interactive, the project entered a long, uncertain phase filled with delays and silence. Recent leaks, including props, weapons, and clips from an early third-person prototype, likely come from the now-cancelled Aspyr version. Those glimpses revealed ambitious ideas: modular weapons, classic vibroblades, early environment tests, and rough slices of gameplay. But none of it confirms the state of the rebuild. Even voice actors from the original cast have said they aren't sure if their performances will be used, which only adds to the haze surrounding the game's future. What exists now is a remake still standing, but suspended somewhere between reinvention and uncertainty. A legendary RPG waiting for the moment it can emerge again with clarity.
That is what the Sith believe.
6 Days in Fallujah is one of those games that tries to pull you straight into the chaos of real modern warfare. Not through spectacle, but through raw, grounded intensity. Already available in early access on PC, the game recreates the brutal 2004 Battle of Fallujah, putting you in the boots of a Marine fire team, while also letting you see the conflict from the eyes of Iraqi civilians caught in the crossfire. It's a tactical, close-quarters experience built on tension, room clearing, and the constant uncertainty of urban combat. Since its early access launch, the developers have continued to refine the core systems, with the 2025 player experience upgrade, improving Fireteam AI controls, and tightening the overall feel. Reactions remain mixed. Some players praise the ambition and authenticity, while others point to clunky aiming, questionable AI, and the lack of promised console versions.
Who's there? Step out! Salim, Nef sick!
So just think, you have this Marine, you're amped up, you got all this adrenaline going through, you kick that door down, and it's like family of 4. And I'm talking to the dad, I'm like, dude, why are you still here? And he's like,
Tides of Annihilation came out of nowhere and suddenly became one of the most intriguing fantasy projects on the horizon. Its new gameplay trailer at the 2025 Xbox Partner Preview hit with force, showcasing a world where mythic fantasy collides with eerie, surreal horror. You play as Gwendolyn, capable of summoning spectral knights from the Round Table and fighting alongside them using the game's distinctive dual frontline battle system. The trailer's highlight is a stunning boss battle inside a twisted, mirror-folded realm, where Gwendolyn teams up with Sir Lamorak to take on the witch Tyranno, in a shifting, dreamlike arena that blends medieval magic with uncanny, otherworldly energy.
Has condemned this man.
Styx Blades of Greed brings the sneaky goblin back into the shadows with a renewed vengeance. This new entry in the stealth-focused series goes all in on everything fans love about Styx. Invisibility tricks, mischievous clones, environmental traps, and that sly, almost theatrical approach to infiltration. Early gameplay from 2025 shows a world designed for verticality and freedom, letting you glide, grapple, climb, and slither through intricate levels packed with multiple paths and hidden routes. Rather than brute force combat, the game pushes you to think, to outmaneuver, to strike from the dark and disappear before anyone realizes what happened. The tone is nastier and more dynamic, with environments reacting to your choices and enemies requiring careful observation and clever improvisation.
You and me. You guys need to slow down. They're like cockroaches. Always in the wrong place. Just remember, kids.
GreedFall 2. The Dying World has made a surprisingly strong comeback after a shaky early access launch. Positioned as both a sequel and a prequel, the story begins on the island of Tyr Frady, where your character, a native, is kidnapped and dragged to the old continent. From there, you're caught in a swirl of political tension, cultural conflict, and plague-ravaged lands where diplomacy and alliances matter just as much as swords and muskets. The world has expanded significantly, offering cities like Alima and Uxantis, along with the newly added region of Perrin, all wrapped in a more open and living structure.
You came to my people to carry out your experiments.
They die in appalling conditions to destroy everything, to kidnap and kill my people, and we're the ones that. You call monsters.
Ashfall stands as one of those post-apocalyptic MMO shooter hybrids that could either be a breakout success or collapse under its own ambition. And right now, it's sitting at that tantalizing maybe stage. Set after a devastating AI-driven war that wiped civilization clean, you emerge from humanity's underground vaults as a wanderer in search of the elusive core of creation, a key to restoring the world. The game mixes looter-shooter action with RPG depth, offering 9 distinct combat styles: dual-wielded machine guns, stealth approaches, high-precision sniper builds, and more experimental weapon paths. Co-op, multiplayer PvP zones, and guild features all play a role, shaping the wasteland into a shared survival space rather than a lonely trek. Alkahest is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing dark fantasy immersive RPGs in development. A gritty medieval world where every swing, every potion, and every decision feels heavy and meaningful. You play in a harsh, realistic setting built around first-person melee combat that focuses on weight, momentum, and brutal physicality. But steel is only half the equation. The game's deep alchemy system lets you craft volatile potions, deadly mixtures, and environmental traps, turning the world itself into a weapon. You can kick enemies off cliffs, detonate explosive barrels, combine stealth with sorcery, or create chaotic chain reactions that shift the entire battle in a heartbeat. The environments lean hard into Dark Age atmosphere: misty forests, grim villages, weather-beaten castles, and dirt-covered roads, all rendered with a rough, grounded realism. Ferocious is ready to throw you onto a savage island filled with dinosaurs, mercenaries, and natural hazards when it launches on December 4th, 2025 for PC. But this isn't just another survival FPS. Its standout mechanic gives you the ability to control dinosaurs. Using a special device, you can command these prehistoric beasts to ambush enemies, clear paths, or create distractions in the middle of tense firefights. The island itself is a volatile ecosystem. Dense jungles, ancient ruins, shifting weather, aggressive wildlife, and hostile factions constantly collide to create dynamic encounters. You'll scavenge resources, craft tools, customize weapons, and fight through a world that never stops pushing back.
DCD. It enables communication with dinosaurs.
Pioner is finally approaching its long-awaited launch, a massive open-world, post-apocalyptic FPS with MMO and survival elements, set on a Soviet-era island twisted by anomalies, mutants, and fractured factions. As a pioneer, you carve your own path: mercenary, explorer, scavenger, or loyalist. The world spans over 50 square kilometers above ground, not counting its labyrinthine underground zones. Both PvE and PvP content coexist: story-driven missions, faction quests, deadly free-for-all territories known as the Shadowlands, and survival systems tied to hunger, rest, and scavenging. Crafting goes deep, allowing you to build equipment using anomaly-charged materials, while weapons feature modular upgrades and rarity tiers that genuinely change performance. Will Follow the Light takes a quieter, more emotional route. A single-player, first-person narrative adventure built on mood, atmosphere, and a sense of loss. You play as Will, a lighthouse keeper stranded in the unforgiving northern seas after a disaster tears apart his home and takes his son. With nothing left but determination and the light to guide you, you set off across frozen waters, barren islands, and abandoned outposts, traveling by boat, on foot, and even by dog sled. The environments, crafted in Unreal Engine 5, capture the stark beauty of the North. Icy storms, desolate coastlines, lonely wooden structures, and haunting stillness. The game focuses on exploration, puzzles, and emotional storytelling rather than combat, creating a meditative journey through grief, memory, and the thin boundary between hope and desperation. INDUSTRIA 2 continues the eerie alternate dimension saga of the first game, pulling you deeper into a parallel world filled with industrial machinery, boreal wilderness, and a hostile AI that twists metal and flesh into terrifying forms. You return as Nora, navigating through abandoned structures, machine-infested corridors, and snow-covered landscapes while trying to unravel the mystery of this reality and the intelligence that haunts it. The game blends narrative adventure with immersive sim interaction, physics-based puzzles, crafting, diegetic inventory systems, weapon upgrades, and careful resource management. Combat leans toward horror, oily dismemberment, robotic body horror, and encounters that demand precision rather than chaos.
Thanks for watching. INDUSTRIA 2 will be playable at Gamescom.
REANIMAL pulls you into a twisted, nightmarish world where reality seems to be rotting from the inside out. This horror adventure blends survival tension with cinematic platforming, following a brother and sister trying to escape a corrupted island world while searching for their missing friends. You move between boat segments and on-foot exploration, navigating eerie forests, collapsing structures, and grotesque landscapes where every shadow feels alive. The monsters you encounter aren't just threats, they're manifestations of the island's sickness, twisted shapes that stalk you through darkness and fog. REANIMAL wants you to feel the dread of every step forward, the burden of protecting your family, and the despair of a world slowly devouring itself. High on Life 2 doubles down on everything that made the first game such a wild ride, but bigger, stranger, and even more chaotic. You team up once again with a new roster of talking alien guns, each packed with attitude and ridiculous personality, turning firefights into a non-stop comedic performance. The game expands the universe with fresh planets, new biomes, new enemies, and even a skateboard that becomes part of your movement and combat rhythm. It's an FPS blended with action-adventure and light Metroidvania elements, meaning new weapons and abilities unlock previously unreachable areas across the galaxy. Launching on February 13th, 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox, and available on Game Pass from day one, the sequel promises the same absurd humor, sci-fi weirdness, and stylish alien mayhem, only now with even more toys to play with and even more trouble to cause. Cthulhu. The cosmic abyss sinks you straight into the heart of Lovecraftian terror, not with jump scares, but with slow-burning dread that gnaws at your sanity. You play as an occult investigator named Noah, tasked with exploring the sunken nightmare city of Relie, a place where geometry breaks, whispers crawl through the water, and reality unravels the deeper you go. Launching April 16th, 2026 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox, the game focuses on psychological horror and cosmic unease. The environments shift between submerged ruins, impossible architecture, and dreamlike voids that question your senses. Instead of run-and-gun combat, gameplay leans into exploration, investigation, puzzles, sanity mechanics, and branching choices that alter the flow of your descent.
What the hell happened here?
Bringing me
In-Car Driving 2.0 aims to be one of the most realistic driving simulators on the market. A complete recreation of everyday driving with accurate physics, functional gearboxes, traffic laws, dynamic weather, and lifelike city flow. Built to train both new and experienced drivers, it focuses on awareness, precision, and real-world conditions rather than arcade action. Development has hit multiple delays. Originally pushed toward November 2025, the team later confirmed a new target of April 2026. The reason is structural. While the map, vehicles, traffic system, and core gameplay features are mostly complete, some underlying systems weren't scalable enough for the future content they want to build, so they tore the foundation down and rebuilt it to ensure stability and long-term expansion. SHADOWMAN Darque Legacy brings the legendary name back into the spotlight with a fresh story about a new wielder of the SHADOWMAN mantle, Jack Boniface. As a walker between two worlds, the living realm and the hellish dead side, Jack battles both cultists and grotesque demonic beings while unraveling a tale that stands on its own, separate from earlier games and comic arcs. The gameplay revolves around visceral melee combat, exploration, and the ability to shift between live side and dead side. That duality isn't just thematic. It shapes puzzles, enemy behavior, and environmental obstacles. Some paths open only in one realm, others twist depending on your state. There's also a light RPG progression system, letting you develop skills, unlock new abilities, and gradually evolve your powers as SHADOWMAN. Fable is returning as a full-scale reboot, a modern revival of Albion crafted by Playground Games and powered by the Forza Tech engine, giving the fantasy world a level of visual fidelity and scale the series has never seen before. Originally expected to arrive in 2025, the game was pushed to 2026, giving the team more time to polish this new vision. The reboot promises a fresh take on the classic Fable charm, the wit, the humor, the fairy tale meets fantasy attitude, but all rebuilt for a new generation. You can expect lush forests, whimsical villages, magical creatures, and that iconic moral playground design the series is known for. It's still Fable at heart, a world where your choices matter and your actions shape the story. But now, with next-gen tech behind every tree, spell, and character expression.
She's back.
I knew this one hero. I took her in when she had nowhere else to.
I'm going to fix it. This place. And no one.
Marvel, 1943. Rise of Hydra throws superheroes into the harsh reality of World War II, delivering a story-driven action-adventure from Skydance New Media. Instead of modern-day cities, the narrative unfolds in occupied Paris, where shadows stretch long and conflict is everywhere. You play as multiple iconic figures. Steve Rogers as Captain America, Azuri, the 1940s Black Panther, as well as a Wakandan spy and a member of the Howling Commandos. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the game aims for cinematic storytelling, dynamic action, and high-end visuals that capture both the beauty and brutality of wartime Europe. Though originally planned for early 2026, development hit delays, and now the release is set for some time beyond that window, with no new date announced. Intergalactic. The Heretic Prophet marks Naughty Dog's bold leap into a brand new sci-fi universe, their first original IP in years. You play as Jordan A. Moon, a bounty hunter stranded on the isolated planet Semperia, a world cut off from cosmic contact for centuries. Beneath its retro-futuristic style lies a dense web of lore centered around a mysterious criminal syndicate and a fictional religion that shapes the planet's culture and conflict. The game is described as Naughty Dog's most expansive and creative project yet, blending action-adventure gameplay with philosophical themes about faith, identity, and isolation. The world draws inspiration from anime aesthetics and cultural sci-fi design, mixing vibrant artistry with grounded character drama. Subnautica 2 expands the series into a new alien ocean world, a fresh underwater planet filled with uncharted biomes, strange ecosystems, and unknown dangers. Built on Unreal Engine 5, the sequel promises advanced visuals and more complex underwater environments that feel alive and unpredictable. The biggest shift is the addition of co-op multiplayer for up to 4 players, allowing groups to explore the depths together, build bases, survive harsher conditions, and uncover the mysteries of the ocean as a team. It still keeps the heart of Subnautica, the sense of wonder, isolation, and discovery, but adds a shared survival experience that opens new possibilities. New creatures, new hazards, new technology, and new survival mechanics all make this sequel feel both familiar and refreshingly different, offering a deeper dive into the alien unknown. Mortal Shell 2 arrives as a standalone sequel that pushes the series into a larger and more ambitious form. Announced in mid-2025, it builds on the original's punishing combat and unique shell-swapping mechanic, but expands the world dramatically. Expect more than 60 dungeons, a greater variety of regions, and a stronger emphasis on exploration. One of the biggest gameplay changes is the removal of the stamina bar, shifting combat toward precision, timing, and breaking enemy defenses, which makes every fight faster, more fluid, and more brutal. Weapon customization and shell progression are deeper, letting you evolve your playstyle through gear, abilities, and unique shell attributes. Mortal Shell 2 aims to keep the gritty, unforgiving spirit of the first game while giving players far more freedom to carve their own path through its harsh, beautifully ruined world.